A few weeks ago, I was visiting one friend in his plant in the north of Germany. It was 7:15 in the morning, and I was already on the second coffee. Suddenly, we heard a shout, not from panic, but from frustration. An operator was pointing at the stop line and was saying, "Again, this is the third time this month. We fix it, and 2 weeks later, it comes back." We walked over. It wasn't a complicated technical issue. It was a systematic problem. That kind of problem that keeps managers awake at night and burns out teams who keep fighting the same fire over and over. And right there, I knew this episode had to happen.
Welcome to Advanced Quality Programs with Juan Navarro. In this podcast, we're going to dive deep into the world of quality and leadership philosophies.
Peter Senge has a line I love. Real leaders see the whole chessboard, not just the pieces. Deming was even more direct. Every system is perfectly designed to get the results it gets. What does that actually mean? If the same headache returns every 2 weeks, it is not bad luck. It is not a careless operator. It is the system producing exactly what it is designed to produce. Today, we are going to go deep in a method that goes beyond the traditional 5 whys that you heard about. It is called the 3x5 whys. And once you understand it, you will stop patching the problems and start eliminating them for good. Before we continue, you can think about how many times you fixed something and you said, done, checked, solved. And to see that happen back 2 weeks later isn't a good experience. So let's start. Go with first step, looking at the system as a whole. And here, perhaps, is the easiest part. Most of the problems aren't simple. If they were, you would have solved them already. That's why we start with the Ichikawa diagram. It is also called the fishbone diagram for some people. You have to picture the problem as the fish head, and then the bones are the possible root causes, like tools, people, processes, environment, materials. You gather your team to look at the problem and define the causes clearly. Brainstorm without judging. It isn't about finding blame. It is about revealing connections that you normally don't see alone. One tip is to don't stop at the obvious. The first layer is always shallow, so you have to push yourself and push your team to go deeper. Bringing us to the step 2, the 5 whys done properly. Once you have 1 or 2 likely causes, you start asking, as a young children, why? And keep asking why. Sometimes 3 levers are enough. Sometimes you need 6 times asking the why question. The goal isn't a number, it is clarity. Taiichi Ono formalized the 5 whys inside the Toyota production system, and later in some studies showed that it is effective depending on the quality of the reasoning behind the use of the tool. It is all about the structure of the analysis, not hitting exactly 5 questions, but actually going deeper in the questioning. The professional move is that when you think you have reached the root cause, you have to read the answers back using therefore. And the chain makes sense back and forth. And if you have a clear connection, you got it. If it breaks, you need to keep digging. The step 3 is the 3 levels times 5. So 1 is what we just speak about, but this is where the method becomes surgical. You have to take the 5 whys and apply them 3 different times, at 3 different levels. The first level is the specific. Why did this particular part fail? Why it wasn't prevented? Now the level 2 is the detection. Why didn't we catch this error before? And why did that reach the customer? Why didn't we test or detect that problem before? And the final one, the level 3, is the system itself. Why does this type of problems keep happening in our organization. This combination of Breath Ishikawa and deep 5 whys aligns with modern research on root cause analysis in complex systems. And here's the key. You don't involve the same people at every level. At level 1, you start specific and you only need the operators, the people that are working with the system. At level 2, the detection level, you need the inspectors, the people that are in the tactical level. And finally, the systematic level is where you need the process owner, the people that designed the architecture of that system. The mix of the wrong people with the wrong level bring the analysis that falls short. So try to get the right mix. Now, here's one real story. In one plant, a milling machine caught fire. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it was a big scare. The instinctive reaction was that people tried to replace the paper filter with materials that didn't burn, like metal ones, and move on. But the team decided to go deeper. They asked, why did the fire start? The paper filter got clogged with chips. Why didn't we detect that earlier? Because there was no scheduled inspection for that component. And why did the system allow that to happen? Because the safety checklist didn't have been updated in 3 years. And there was no formal process to keep that from happening. This matches research on failures in the standardization and checklist maintenance in industrial safety. The result wasn't just a new filter. It was a completely renewed safety system with clear responsibilities and regular reviews. They stopped putting out fires, literally and figuratively. Now, most recurring problems come down to 3 things. 1, there is no standard. 2, the standard isn't followed. And 3, the standard is outdated and nobody understands it. This trio appears again and again in manufacturing and healthcare incidents. Let's explore another quick case. A manufacturer kept missing deliveries because the material certificates were often missing, especially after outsourcing a part of the production. Using the 3x5 why method, they discovered that purchasing had no tracking system. Responsibilities weren't defined, and planning assumed someone would take care of it. The redefined roles were established. They created a clear procedure, and the late deliveries just disappeared. See the pattern? The problem wasn't the certificate. The problem was the system that kept losing the certificates. And to be honest, the 3x5 why method isn't magic. It is discipline. It's refusing to accept the first answer. It's involving the right people at the right level. It's understanding that fixing a part without fixing the system is like sweeping sand on the beach. It's looking at the same picture tomorrow. And here are the rules that you can use to apply this week, the method. Start by hunting the systematic causes. They are mostly behind of all your problems. Do it as a team. Different eyes see different routes. Walk the processes. Don't analyze it from your desk. Brainstorm without judgment. Silly ideas often reveal the obvious. Focus on 2 or 3 causes max. Do not try to fix everything at once. Stay disciplined, 1 factor at a time. Involve the system owner. They know things that you don't. And test your logic with therefore. If the chain breaks, then keep digging. And that's it for this week. Where do you spend more time at work? Putting fires out? Fixing systems? You can tell me in the comments. I will read them. And thank you for all your ratings on my books, The Quality Mindset, Life Quality Projects, Principles of Quality. And if this episode helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who lives in the firefighting mode. Stay excellent, keep improving, and Stop chasing symptoms, chase systems.
One small change triggers everything. Watch how Agile thinking works. Inspect, adapt, repeat. Each step builds the next, creating confident, unstoppable momentum. This is the Quality Mindset by Juan Navarro. Get your copy now.